So I'll give some brief introduction about Python. So how it came and when it came, what is the why why they started implementing Python and all. Okay. So what do you guys think? Like Python is a new programming language or it's an old programming language?
It is a very old language.
Yeah, it is one of the old programming language, right? So after C, C++, even before Java and even before .NET, we have Python was there. Okay, so before to Python, there are very few programming languages like C, C++, and Shell and Perl scripting. And there was another programming called modular programming. Okay, so those are there, and from those programming language only Python was derived. So why they wanted to derive Python? Why what is the need of Python? And one more thing, like even though it is one of the oldest programming language, actually it was developed in the year of 1999, but officially it is made to public in the year of 1991. So even though it is oldest, one of the oldest programming language which was officially available to the public in the year of 1991, right? So why it was not that much popular in olden days, why it is only popular nowadays, right? From past almost 10 years it was growing like anything, and in upcoming years also minimum 10 to 15 years, so it will grow like anything. So the industry is using Python extensively in every use case, irrespective of your domain, right? So irrespective of programming language you use, irrespective of products, what kind of product you are using, right? So everywhere is Python is getting used. So why it is becoming so popular nowadays only, even though it is one of the oldest programming language? So can anyone tell what are the what and all places we can use Python? What are the applications of Python? Any idea?
Sir, in bank application,
Banking. Mm-hmm. So that
robotics,
means some enterprise applications. Yes. Hmm. Okay. Next.
Desktop
web,
application using
web
Yes.
application. And
Yes.
nowadays, program is using in YouTube, Instagram.
Exactly.
yeah desktop application.
Data sciences.
Yes. Yes. Data science applications. Yes. Data actually. Yes.
Robotics,
Robotics. Great.
Networking.
Automation.
Network applications and automation. Yes. So I think you almost suggested everything. Very important thing. So if you see these things, so this itself will explain you why Python is becoming so popular nowadays, even though it is one of the oldest programming language. So first is web application. So if you see nowadays only these web applications are becoming so popular, is it? So it was not there like some 10 years back, it was not that much popular. Nowadays even every single individual also wanted to develop their own application, web application and also mobile application, right? So Python is best suitable programming language to develop any web applications, and it is easy actually. So first thing, first point, whenever we are starting Python, right? So what we need to talk about is Python is very simple. Python is very simple and easy. Simple in the sense easy to write, easy to code, easy to read also. Reading the programming also very, very easy. Reading in the sense it is readable, more readable. Okay, easy to learn, easy to write code, and also easy to read also, readability also. And next thing is desktop applications. So what do you mean by desktop applications?
Can
What and all,
application
any
installed on
examples?
like
Yes.
browser is
So
also and one of yeah browser also one of the desktop application like Chrome,
yes,
Firefox.
browser. Yes, Notepad. This Notepad plus plus Paint, Word, Microsoft Word, PPT, right? And
calculator.
calculator. These are yes, web. These are desktop applications. Means once we install, there is no dependency. No need to. No, it can run on its own. No dependency. So those kind of applications we call it as desktop applications. And nowadays our PC using of laptop or PC computer use is very very high, right? So it is growing like anything. So as the usage of computers is growing bigger, right? So that's where we started using more desktop applications. So Python is best suitable programming language to develop desktop applications also. And about data science, we'll talk at the end. Data, what is data and all, and robotics. So robotics, in the sense, actually, this robotics and maybe this automation we can club together. Robotic programming in the sense, so we write it for either automation purpose or robo applications. Okay, so there also Python is very best suitable programming language. And network applications, in the sense, examples for network applications.
Like 4G technologies, as well as routers manipulation. These
Mhm.
can become under network applications.
Okay, so switches, routers, 4G. So this is network, building network actually. So network application, in the sense, exactly. So whatever the application, in simple words, a application which needs a network connection. That means, in another words, client server model, client server based model, like what and all we use on our mobile applications, right? Most of the things are network applications, like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, right? So whatever we use is client, and whenever we search something, it will fetch from the server. So those kind of applications, we call it as network applications. And Python is best suitable programming language for all the network applications. Most of the Instagram was developed in Python, and some of the portion of YouTube was developed in Python, and Google uses Python. Everywhere Python is getting used. And if you see, these network applications are becoming so popular in recent years only, correct? It was not there when Python was invented in 1990s. These network applications are not that much popular, correct? So as these network applications also growing like anything, example, best example is social media. So most of the social media are any network applications which need client server based model, right? So those kind of applications we can happily develop with Python, and it is easy. And next is automation, in the sense, so maybe it is robotics, or maybe our software automation also. So nowadays none of the companies preferring manual testers, correct? So testing what and all we can do with manual testing, right? So same thing we can automate. What is the use of automation? So why we want to automate our test cases? So say, whenever whenever we are adding some new features to our product, or whenever we are releasing a new version of our Yes, yes. So automation also nowadays it is getting used extensively. So we will talk about this data later. So there is huge amount of thing we need to talk about data. Okay. So next. So after automation, we have one of the biggest industry nowadays is gaming industry, right? So gaming industry. So even though these games, so internet games are becoming so popular nowadays, right? So the use of games, also extensively increased now. And Python is best suitable programming language to develop games. So in our olden days, maybe some 10 years back, we don't have internet games, correct? So some we used to play some games with some devices, is it? So but now, so all are online games. So nowadays this gaming industry also very big. So Python is best suitable programming language to develop games, right? So next thing is data, data science or data analysis. Data analysis, data science, and machine learning, artificial intelligence, and IoT. So if you observe, so these are now current market. These are now leading in the market, and also these things are growing like anything nowadays. Correct. So now what we call data is new oil to the industry, right? So to develop these data analysis or data science applications, machine learning, artificial intelligence, so for all these applications, Python is best suitable programming language. So in many of our maybe in one of the session we were going to talk about what is data science, what is data analysis, and machine learning, artificial intelligence. So all these things, it's a big topic actually. So we are going to talk about these things in middle of our in one of our regular classes. Okay, and this IoT is something different from these things. Any idea what is IoT? Internet of Things. Yes, anyone is having any idea what is Internet of Things? This is not that much popular in India, but nowadays it is coming. Devices which is connected to internet. So nowadays, like say we can switch on or switch off our geyser or our AC with the help of Wi-Fi. Home automation. Correct. So those things we call it as IoT, Internet of Things. And for IoT purpose also, Python is best suitable programming language. You guys can hear me, right? Or still again, is it breaking?
No, it is clear now.
It's clear, right? Fine, right? So actually, how Python was evolved? When was there already? We have a programming language called, right? C language we have, C++ we have, and scripting languages we have like shell script and Perl script, and also we were having some modular programming language. So these are the languages which was present in olden days, right? So at that time, so this C programming language, so C programming language, what we call it as functional programming language. It is functional programming language. And C++ is actually extension to C, is it? So C++ is functional plus object oriented programming language, object oriented programming language. And we have other programming languages which are scripting languages, so which are shell and Perl scripting, right? And we have another programming language called modular programming. We have something called modular programming, right? So the guy who invented Python, his name is Guido van Rossum. So we'll come again to that. So who invented Python? The guy Guido van Rossum. So he wanted to start a new programming language, because see, if we develop any of our application, any of our product with the help of C programming language, so what will happen? So it supports only functional programming language. So if we take C, we will be missing the advantages of object oriented programming and scripting features and also modular programming. Of course, nowadays no one is using this, at least very few people are using, but no one is preferred this modular programming, right? Or if we start with C++, what will happen? We'll get only functional programming features and object oriented programming features. So scripting and modular programming, again, it is scripting is very difficult. It is not easy to develop in C or C++ to achieve this scripting features. And also we will be losing the features of modular. Same thing, like if we start with scripting languages like shell or Perl, so we can't use functions. Yes, function supports, but not that much extensively like C. And we can't use object oriented programming, and also these modular programming features also we are missing. So that's where he thought of developing a new programming language. Where it can support functional programming, object oriented programming, modular programming, and also a language which can be used for scripting also. So that's how Python was evolved. So functional programming features he borrowed from C. Object oriented programming features he borrowed from C++. Scripting features he borrowed from Shell and Perl. And modular programming features he borrowed from a modular programming language called Modular 3. Modular 3. Okay. This was a programming language which was there. Okay. So like this, he wanted to develop. Now he was able to successfully develop a programming language which can support all these features. And he not only wanted to develop a programming language which supports these features, and he wanted to make this programming language very simple. So in general, when we want all the features into a single bowl, correct, so it will become so complicated and it may not be easy to use, right? But he don't wanted that. So he wanted all the features. At the same time, he wanted to make this programming language very, very simple. Simple in the sense, again, so easy to learn, easy to code also. And so as it is easy to learn and easy to code very fast, right? So it improves our productivity, correct? So with less number of days we can improve, we can develop our application when compared to other programming languages, right? So this is how this programming language evolved. So now Python supports functional programming, object oriented programming, and also we can use for this scripting purpose. Of course, nowadays we are using this, we are not using this modular programming, we can forget about this, right? So how we can say Python is very, very simple? Let me show you one example. See, let us take C programming, right? So let us take some small example. How we start our program in C. We start with some including header files, storage like this, and uh, so how we start with main, and so with braces means we are starting a new block, right? So let's take some application where I want to add some two numbers, right? Some int b equals to 20 and some c, right? In C equal to A plus B and print. So how to print? We use a function called printf, right? Some result C equals to, right? So we use format specifier, comma C, right? So if you guys don't have any background about C, just no need to worry about, just see this, right? And if you see this is a C programming language. This is C program, right? So what and all we need? So we need some header files. So if a guy who don't have any programming background, right? So if you see this program, he may not understood anything apart from this, right? So a equal to 10, that means something we are assigning to A, something we are assigning to B, and we are adding some A plus B, right? Apart from this, he may not be understanding anything. So what is this main is doing, and what is these braces are, what is this curly braces, and what is the meaning of this int, what is this printf, and why we are using this percent %d, etc., right? All these things, the layman, the guy who don't have any programming experience, or the guy who are not from technical background, he may not understand all these things. So for this, right, so what and all we need to convey to the C compiler. See, this is where I'm starting my program, this is where I'm starting my program, and what kind of variable I'm passing, whether it is integer or float or string, or character, like this. All these things upfront as a programmer we need to pass. So we need to convey to the C compiler saying that whatever the variable I'm using, it is of type integer. If I use some float point, right, some float, then I need to convey to the C compiler saying that my variable is of type float. And not only that, right, so here once we compute, right, this A plus B, here also the programmer upfront should know what is the outcome of this expression, what is the outcome of this expression. And here also this format specifier also we need to specify properly, otherwise we may not get expected result, correct? So this is how we write our programming language, program in C. And in general, right, so so when we write our mathematics on our notebook, something like that we will write, right? C equal to A plus B. So if you see this, anyone can read this, anyone can read this, and we know what it is doing. And this itself is a Python program, this itself is a Python program. No need to convey from where my program is starting and what kind of variables I'm passing, and what, whether it is integer or float, no need to convey all those things. No need to give the semicolons, these braces, etc., from where I'm starting my block. And no need to give, no need to include any header files, all these things. So this itself is a Python program. See how simple it is. No need to worry any of the things. As a developer, we no need to worry most of the things. So Python itself will take care of all these things. And so see here, so based on the type of data what we pass here, so Python will evaluate and it will treat it as a as integer type. Let me show you quickly once. See, this is Python interpreter. No need to worry about these things. We are going to see about this, right? So this is, I'm saying a equal to 10. So how this variable will be treated as? So this is treated as integer. This is treated as integer. We can ask Python actually what is the type of a. So as a programmer, we no need to worry what kind of variable we are passing, so Python itself will, based on the value we are passing, right? So Python itself will treat this variable as integer. So now I'll take some floating point value. So now if I ask what is the type of b, right? So this will be treated as float, and I'll take some string. So this itself will be treated as string. So as a programmer, we no need to pass anything to anyone. See, I equal to 10 and b equal to 20 and c equal to a plus b. So this itself, right, a Python program. Now if I ask what is there in C, it is 30. No need to follow any of these syntaxes like C programming language. The syntax in Python is very simple and very easy, and also more readable. Now if we compare these two programs, so this is C and this is Python, you can see which is more readable. This anyone can understand this, who is having some basic mathematics and basic English, right? He can understand this program. So Python is very simple programming language. So everyone following? Any questions still here? Yes, anyone? What and all we are going to cover in our Python? So in Python, so Python plus Django, altogether it will take around 2.5 months to 3 months. So every day 1 hour session. So sometimes and only it is weekdays. Sometimes if needed, I'll be taking on weekends, but there is no guarantee. And what and all we are going to cover in Python? Okay, so first we will start with the introduction, like features, what are the Python features, etc. And next, data types, and next, identifiers and keywords. Next, what is mutability and immutability? Next, operators, Python operators. Next, input output functions. Followed by Python flow control. Flow control in the sense like if else and loops, while loop and for loop, etc. And other data types. Okay, next we are going to start with strings, followed by list, tuple, set, dictionary, Python functions, after that Python files. Okay, so to complete these things, it will take around 10 days. And strings alone we are going to talk about around 3 days. List again 3 days. Tuple 1.5 day. Tuple is 1 day. Set for 2 days. Dictionary almost some 4 to 5 days, and functions also around a week, and files for 2 days. So after this we are going to start with object oriented programming. So object oriented programming itself will take around somewhere around 20 sessions, 20 hours. And next we'll start with Django. Django will take around 20 to 30 sessions. 20 to 30 sessions. All together we will be taking around 2.5 months to 3 months. Okay, so this is the syllabus what we are going to cover. So if you have any questions, you can ask. So I want to stop here today.
And what will be the Django version you are going to use?
3.9 it is.
3 point?
One.
Not Python version, Django version.
Django version, latest version. We'll be using latest version. Let me check what is the latest version. Even I have not checked nowadays. The latest version is 3.8. One second. And this is also 3 release. So 3.2.5 looks like. Latest version only we will be using, not 2, 3 version only, 3.x. Python also we use 3.x. not two.
Sandeep, quick question.
Yes.
So whether we'll be having any sessions on web APIs? I mean, like the uh, API calls.
REST API, something like that. He's
REST
trying to
API,
say.
see, not complete REST framework. So REST framework is again another topic. So about REST thing, we are going to talk about around 2 to 3 days. REST calls, how to use those APIs. Yes, but not in full because REST API is again a different topic.
As I said, I learned the Python self
Okay,
phase. So I know
okay,
basic Python up to some object-oriented language. Yeah, up till OPS in Python. But is it
huge. So that
possible
means
to move far, make it as a rapid session so that you can pay more attention on the Django side development, real applications and
sorry,
development side?
come again, come again.
No, no. I know Python, basic Pythons, all the
Fine.
above stuffs. I mean, string up to files,
Okay,
except
okay,
regular expression. I know some area. Is it possible
okay.
to make it faster, quicker, so that you can save some times and spend more time on Django?
Yeah. Okay.
If
Fine.
everybody
So
accept, I mean, everybody,
yes, yes,
if
correct.
everybody is very fresh, then you need to start from the scratch. Otherwise, we can wrap it up very fast
See,
so that
so for that,
we can.
in general, yeah, in general, how I my sessions will be like. So initial days we will be going very slow, okay, because we are going to spend very good amount of time on basics. So if we are good in basics, right, will rest of the things we can move faster. And so based on the students also, like in my session, some people will be having no programming background. So for them, it may take some time to adjust to our programming language, correct? To adjust to our pace. So initial days, definitely we are going to very slow until very basics, what and all we need up to strings, right? So we are going to spend very good amount of time, right? So after that, based on the situation of you guys, based on your comfortable levels, then we can increase our pace. And also the concept wise, what and all we can cover here is definitely I can challenge you, right? So every day you can Google what and all we are discussing whenever we are discussing about any topic, say strings or list or any other thing, right? So what and all we are discussing on our class, definitely you go back and Google about it. So if you are missing any of the concept, right? Definitely you can ask me. So and also like so the material, the way I designed my course is I collected from different sources and I make it as a single course. Okay, so maybe at least for another, maybe if you see some 1 week to 10 sessions, right, at that time you can understand so how much you know and how much you are going to learn here. Okay, so maybe same thing you can tell me after 10 days saying that I'm very much comfortable about these things. Okay, Sushil, right, whatever, who said that, Sushil or Sandeep?
Yeah, yeah, delete.
Yeah, Dilip. Okay. You can follow at least for 1 week and then let me know how much comfortable you are in Python.
And one more final question from my side is, will you teach me the deployment process of Django application,
Of
server
course,
deployment?
of course. That is part of our syllabus. But deployment, when we will be talking about, we will be talking about almost at the end of our Django. Once you are ready with our application, see how Django will be, how our classes will be. So once we are done with Python, right? So at that time you'll be having very good knowledge in Python, and of course Django uses what? Django uses Python. So Django is just a framework. So internally it uses what? Python. And at the starting of our Django class itself, you are going to select your own project. You are going to select your own project, and every day we are going to add our concept to your Python. So sorry, to your project. So at the end of our Django classes, right? So you will be having your complete project which is ready to use, which we can call it as a real-time project. Real-time project means so which can be used directly. Okay, so every student is going to select your own project, and from day one onwards you are going to add data to your project. Every day you are going to add some what and all we learned today, right? So you are going to add today. and that's how we are going to incrementally develop our project. It is not like that. So initial complete Django sessions we are going to talk about the concept and then we start project. No. Okay, so that's how. So now ongoing sessions also, my students already selected some projects, so they are going to work on their projects only. At the end of our Django, you will be ready with your complete project, including deployment.
Okay,
Sandeep, like,
Yes, yes.
because I need some help in the coding and all. Will that be possible?
Coding in the sense, in what sense you are asking? Like, so your current work, or
Yeah, in my current work.
that that we'll see. That is, I can't guarantee because I'm also working, right? I'm 12 plus years of experience. Okay, so that I can't guarantee, but concept wise, I can definitely help you.
Yeah, that is what I asked you, about the
Of
REST
course.
API services. So
Okay.
basic, I see, because I want to test myself and I want to prove. So like basic concepts in the REST API services, which are very much helpful for me. So
Definitely
that's
will
why,
help.
yeah, that is why I asked you the web APIs
Yes,
initially.
no problem at all. So even though we thought of taking some 2 to 3 sessions, so if time permits and all right, if everyone agrees, right, we can extend our sessions. It's not like that. So once I complete our syllabus, no, that's it. So we can definitely extend it. We can
Okay.
include more. We can add REST API into our syllabus. No problem at all. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But once we complete our actual syllabus, which are extra things, right? So what and all you are asking extra things, that will cover almost maybe at the end or maybe in the weekend extra session.
Okay.
will you cover the exception handling and
Of course,
regular
yes.
expression?
Exception handling we are going to cover after this, either flow control, right? Or maybe after these data types. And regular expressions actually I never covered. I don't want to cover regular expressions also because that is something it is not that much any logically we don't have any much thing to learn there. Okay. So apart from regular expression, we are going to add some other things, extra things in our syllabus. But regular expressions somehow maybe if you guys needed, we can talk about regular expressions maybe 1 or 2 sessions. But that is not that much. That is not that much work to spend time actually. So that you can learn on your own also. Which does
Okay.
not logically we don't have that much this thing to regular expressions.
Okay, I understand.
Yes. On top of regular in place of regular expression, right? If you have any other topic which is useful, right, get it, we can discuss about it apart from what and all we have in the syllabus. The numpy is there, pandas are there, right? Those
Y-
things you guys want, in place of that we can definitely discuss about some 1 or 2 sessions which
Yeah,
are
what
very
about
useful.
the web scraping?
Scrapping, that also maybe at the end, so that is also not part of our syllabus. Maybe you can ask admin guys to share the syllabus. Okay, go through that syllabus, and if anything is missing, let me know. So as I said, if you are missing, if you want some extra things, right, we are going to cover at the end of our session once we complete our syllabus, right, actual syllabus. After that we are going
Okay.
to cover. Okay, or
Okay.
any extra sessions like weekends.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Sandeep, what will be the timing daily basis?
Daily, actually it is planned is for morning. You can discuss with admin. They'll let you know about the timing and all. And every day it will be
Okay.
1 hour.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
No, I don't have any questions from my side today.
Okay. Great. Thanks. And Sandeep.
No, I don't have any questions.
Fine. Fine. Yes. If no more
Just
questions.
wanted to
Yes. Yes.
ask you,
Yes. Please.
what's the timing of the class?
It will be in the morning hours. So same thing I already answered. Like, so you can admin people will let you know about the timings and all. When, from when onwards it is